Hey everyone, today I'll show you how to easily and simply create a varying jump height mechanic depending on how long you hold the jump button by changing the player's gravity scale. We'll be using Unity's input system and force impulse. We begin with the background that I prepared in advance and create a floor for our player to jump on. We position it such that its top coincides with the grass that's in the background, and then reduce its alpha to make it invisible. That will create the effect of our player jumping on the ground. We add a Box Collider 2D component and move on to the player. We'll create a capsule for the player, give it a color, increase its sorting layer so it's visible to us, and also increase its size a bit. We add a rigid body 2D component for the physics, increase its gravity scale so it doesn't feel too floaty, and make its collision continuous to avoid clipping errors. Finally, we add a Capsule Collider 2D component so it also collides with the floor, and we're done with the player. Now to create the jump logic. Let's go to the scripts folder, create a C# script and call it varying height script. In there, we first delete the unnecessary comments and begin laying out our variables. We need a rigid body reference so that we can change its properties, a capsule collider reference so that we can use it to detect when we're touching the ground layer, a serialized jump force vector that we will plug into our jump method, and we will also want to create two more variables for the gravity logic. The first is the default gravity scale, where we will store our original gravity scale, and the second is a serialized float for the gravity scale increase rate that we will increase gravity by when we let go of the jump button. Once we're done with that, let's initialize the non-serialized variables by attaching the appropriate components and values to them. Next, we will write the jump method, which is only one line. In it, we write rb.addForce and plug in our jump force vector, and as a second variable, we set forceMode2D.impulse so Unity will know that it's a sudden force and calculate it appropriately. Now, we want to call this function when we press the jump button, so we go to the update method and write an if statement. If the input.getKeyDown, this means that the code will be executed at the single frame when the key was pressed, and we specify the key. For me, I like the spacebar, but you can plug whatever you want there. Then, set the gravity scale to the default one and call the jump method. Make sure to call it in this order, otherwise it might not work. Now for the stop logic. We require that if the player releases the jump key, that is input.getKeyUp, then multiply the gravity scale by the amount of our choosing. Getting back to Unity, we add the script to our player, set the parameters, enter play mode, and it works. We can increase the jump force by a bit if we think it's too low, or decrease it if it's too high. But the one problem that you might notice is that we can jump even while in the air, so we'll fix that real quick and we'll be done. So back in Visual Studio, we need to add the condition of the player touching the ground for it to be able to call the jump method. Therefore, we will add a condition to our if statement by writing double ends, and then add to that Capsule Collider dot is touching layers, and in it we call layer mask dot get mask and write our mask's name. I called mine ground, but you can use whatever name you want. Just make sure you get the name right. Returning to Unity, we don't forget to set the floor to be in the ground layer, and we're done. That's it! You now have a responsive jump system, and it only took several minutes. If you liked this video, please consider giving it a like or a comment, and make sure to check out my other videos where I show why and how things work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys!